In the far-off reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, aboard the sleek starship Quasar Quest, Captain Jeffrey Klutz presided with an unrivaled combination of pride and cluelessness. A man who had won his command not by fierce combat or strategic prowess, but by a fortuitous typo on an official Space Command document. Thus began the legendary misadventures of Captain Klutz. One peculiar Andromedan Thursday, which, due to time dilation, occurred twice a Earth week, Captain Klutz received an urgent transmission from High Command. It seemed a minor planet, named Gizmo, had a malfunctioning core reactor threatening to go supernova. The message was clear: fix it or face dark matter chaos in the quadrant. With an overconfident nod, Klutz set the course, not realizing he'd accidentally toggled the spaceship's espresso machine instead of the hyperdrive. "We've arrived," announced Klutz, sipping a subpar cup of cosmic espresso as he gazed out at the inky void. His crew, comprised of an intellectual octopus from Beta Cephei, a robot with a phobia of asteroids, and a hologram who thought it was a reincarnation of an ancient Earth philosopher, Socrates to be precise, exchanged worried glances. It took 3 rounds of espresso and a gentle nudge from the octopus for Klutz to realize his mistake and finally engage the hyperdrive. Upon arrival at Gizmo, the team set to work. The robot, named Clanky, shivered at every space rock that passed by, while Socrates tried to debate the ethics of interfering with a planet's natural life cycle. Meanwhile, the octopus, Dr. Tentacles, was left to do all the heavy lifting, or tentacling, as it were, with the reactor's manual override. "You know," mused Klutz while watching Dr. Tentacles struggle with the reactor's complex interface, "I read somewhere that these reactors can be soothed by song." Misinterpreting his role drastically, Klutz began an off-key rendition of an old space shanty, which only seemed to aggravate the machine's internal sensors. By what can only be described as a fluke in universal humor, the reactor stabilized momentarily under the serenade before Klutz tripped over a loose wire and face-planted into the main control panel. Lights flickered, sirens wailed, and then silence. The reactor was fixed. The crew stared in disbelief, a mix of admiration and horror written across their faces. "Remarkable," muttered Socrates, flickering slightly. "A true philosophical paradox, success born purely from chaos." With Gizmo saved and the crew mildly traumatized, Captain Klutz set course back to Space Command. Along the way, he managed to accidentally propose marriage to the ship's AI, get into a heated argument with a vending machine, and unwittingly become the champion of an intergalactic dance-off, all results of attempting to adjust the ship's thermostat. As the Quasar Quest returned, hailed as heroes, Captain Klutz strutted down the gangway, tripping spectacularly over his own cape, falling face-first into a cake meant for the celebration. The crew just shrugged. It was all in a day's work, under the command of the galaxy's most bumbling yet bizarrely effective captain. Thus continued the galactic misadventures of Captain Jeffrey Klutz, a beacon of hope and a warning of what not to do in space, simultaneously proving that sometimes, in the vast and unpredictable cosmos, a little Klutz can go a long way.